I'll give you a chance, Max. As it seems you were willing to put yourself, your very life, at risk of me when I was possessed by that creature. I think perhaps out of all of your companions, you were the only one with any shred of recoverable worthiness. What can you tell me of what can you tell me of this creature? What plan might you have for chasing it down and freeing my kingdom from its terrible grasp?
Well, before he left our company, Owen did tell us of some weapon that might be instrumental in its destruction.
Says, oh, indeed. What weapon is this?
I believe it's called the Sword of Steel. You may have heard of it.
So he shakes his head. He's like, Sword of Steel. Only a fool would seek that weapon.
Well, I happen to know two fools.
I think he laughs at that point. And yeah, I think that Jeff's character actually like stands up to go to the bathroom at the same time.
He's like,
And
I'm out.
so you're separated from him now, and the king is like, very well, I will tell you what I know of the Sword of Steel. He says, only a master thief can hope to remove it, for it is placed inside a chamber which has no locks and no doors. To reach this chamber, you must first travel through a maze with no walls and break an ice made of fire. That is what the old tales say.
Interesting.
I've heard of your powers, wizard. Are you strong enough to complete these challenges?
Well, between friends, I would assume you know I am.
He says, we are no friends.
What? We're
Your
still friends.
your complicity in my friend's death. My friend's death. He wants to repeat that to
That's
emphasize
just
it.
rude.
I'm gonna grab his arm and I'll be like, "We're still friends."
That's just rude.
I think he says very well. Tell me what your plan is to overcome these challenges.
Well, first we're gonna have to find a master thief.
Says there has not been a master thief in these lands since, well, since before the death of Ileana.
I happen to know of a city across the desert, a city full of thieves.
That sounds like you're spouting lore.
I suppose I could try to do that.
Excellent.
Is that int?
Oh, yes.
Of course it is.
Oh, yeah, you definitely know about such a city. I'm going to tell you something interesting and useful, and then you're going to tell me more about this city. So there is such a city that exists across the desert. In it, it is run entirely by thieves. There's an actual functioning government that is actually run by the Thieves Guild. The Thieves Guild controls every aspect of life. They control what time people work. They control what time people eat. They control who gets what jobs. It's basically like a union if a union controlled every person at every time.
Oh, nice. Well then.
And the local guild is called Local 616. And you happen to know the call sign to get in. You know, like you happen to know a little bit about this thieves guild, and you know the sign to get into their secret meetings. So let me ask, what is the name of the desert you have to cross?
Oh. Hmm. What's something really cool? Can't think of anything cool. I'm not cool.
The sands of eternity.
No, don't. No, no, no. Nothing about eternity or forever or endlessness or anything like that. Uh.
Perhaps it's called the Pillars because there are pillars of sand there.
Pillars of Sand.
Oh, Arthur.
Pillars of Sand. Yeah, yeah, sure,
Okay, all right.
sure.
Uh,
Pillars.
what is the name of the town?
The City of Thieves. City of Thieves across the desert.
Agrabah.
Okay,
Agrabah.
I'll accept that. So I'm going to field this last one to Emery. You've heard him speak before on this topic. You've heard Max speak on his adventures in Agrabah. How exactly is it that he became known to the Thieves Guild enough that they would trust him to let him in on the secret meetings? When it comes to exotic land mammals.
Oh no.
Well,
I was
he's
gonna-
busy. I'm telling you, it's
I've
the one past
opened-
menagerie.
I've opened the floodgate.
You have. Oh, you have.
Ali.
God, do I want to make him infamous rather than famous?
Well, I can't be famous yet.
Well,
You said-
well known is a form of fame, even if it's only a small group. How did he get invited?
Yeah.
He gets invited because little does he know he is actually a mark for them.
How did you determine this when he hasn't?
Wow.
And why haven't you told him?
Hey, nature speaks. And why haven't I told him?
Yeah, why haven't you told him?
He has not proven his worth.
Oh shit! Okay.
Remember
Yeah,
the bonds.
yeah.
Has no respect for nature, so I have no respect for them.
Very well. Okay. So the king says, very well. You can travel there. So, just to be clear, it will be 3 days to travel there and 3 days back. You're telling me that I must hold the kingdom together for 1 week while this ghostly shadow dragon ravages my lands?
Well, I mean, it won't have its full power yet. And it's only a week.
So he looks very grim, and he holds out his hand, and his staff appears in his hand. He says, I believe I can hold the kingdom for exactly 1 week.
If you can hold out, King, we shall do our best to assist.
So I think he stands up and says, very well. If you can save my kingdom in 1 week, if you can receive the sword, bring back a master thief, and use the sword to defeat the dragon, I will give you, each of you, any one thing you ask. And then he turns and starts like shouting commands in an unknown language, and people start bringing out like bags of salt and silver dust. They start bringing out lances. You see these enormous like spiders start descending from the top of the palm trees and begin spinning webs. And it's clear that he's calling some form of council of war. Like, people are stockpiling supplies. He's gathering up, like, forest creatures. You know, like, the fawns are there. The tiny gecko things. And he just starts having a war council in, like, the next room over. What do you guys do? You've got this beautiful feast here. Actually, let's cut over to Dalewyn. Dalewyn, you've like left the room crying about Ileana, right? That might not be charitable, but I think that's what happened.
That is kind of what happened,
Okay,
yeah.
where do you go and what do you do during this time?
I just left the room. I'm probably found a side passageway to cry in a corner in. He's moping about, why did you have to leave me all those years ago, Ileana? Why? Ever since then, my life has just been one tragedy after another.
I think that's when
It's
the
really
jingle,
embarrassing.
It,
It's really embarrassing.
that's when the jingle of the coin that Owen gave you guys at first, like as you're like leaning forward, you feel it under your robe shift, and you realize you have 20 gold pieces in your pocket, your bag.
Oh,
Where did that come from?
well, happy day.
And
Thank you, Ileana.
well, I mean, obviously you always knew you had it, right? Because you picked it up off the table with Owen.
Oh,
I
No,
really,
no.
really hate my dogs right now. I'll be right back again,
Okay.
guys.
So, I think one of the flying geckos hovers in front of you, Owen, and is like, "What's wrong?"
my beloved. She. It's been so long.
Well, I gotta tell you, buddy, we got problems here. There's a shadow dragon on the loose. Our military commander's dead. Our king is, well, our king. You got problems, son? Well, we got problems too.
Everybody's time comes. If your king is dying, your king is dying.
Look who said anything about the king
You
dying.
just said that.
No, I just,
You said our king, well, our king.
yeah.
I can read between the lines. It's very clear that your king is dying. I'm very sorry, but everybody dies. Some too soon.
All right. So I think while you're doing that, like you see someone else, like maybe one of the spiders. The spider like drops down from the ceiling of the dungeon room you're in, and it's like, "You say the king is dying?"
Yes!
Right, and like the word starts to pass through all of the creatures. The spider like turns to the next one in line. Is like, "The king's dying. That guy said so. He was just in the room with the king, and he's crying now." And like throughout the castle, you hear people that are like, "The king is dying. The king is dying. I heard it from the elf. As you know, elves don't lie." Yeah, that starts to spread throughout the area. I think it's about this time that the king. So, like, the news is traveling in one direction, and in the other direction, we've got the king holding the war council. So, let's say to the west, the king is holding the war council, and to the east, the news of the king dying is spreading. I think that's about that time the two timelines converge, and yeah, so Max and Emery, you can see Delwyn in the other room talking to some servants, and now they're all shrieking about how the king is dying and crying.
The king is dying.
The king is dying.
Don't repeat it.
I love that I go let my dogs fucking out of the crate so they quit whining, and I come back to the king is dying. um,
Worst game of telephone ever.
No, that's actually the best game of telephone because that's exactly the message.
I'm just gonna grab a drink off the table from in front of me and drink it.
Hopefully, he doesn't die within the next week.
Right?
And I
Just
will take one last mouthful of food and
Make
stand up.
its way back to the king.
Not yet, not yet. I think that will take some time.
Eventually, here in the next about 25, 35 seconds.
I think this is a good place to wrap up. Just because, we've got, like, I think some of you are drinking. I get the idea, now, this is just me, I get the idea that Max is, like, stuffing food in his pockets.
Yeah, he's like getting ready to leave on this journey.
Yeah, because he said he was, so you're, like, wrapping up some crocodile meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting ready to leave to go to this, across the desert, the Pillars Desert, Pillars Sands. Yep, the Pillars Sands. to reach the City of Thieves, to find a Master Thief, to bring him back, to now I gotta remember what it is.
To
Damn
find
language.
this.
It's the Sword of Steel.
Yeah.
Okay, so travel across the Pillars Sands to the Thief City, run by Local 616. Bring back a Master Thief.
And then find a maze with no walls. Break an ice made of fire. And then
Wow.
enter something with no locks and no doors. A dungeon with no locks and no doors, I assume.
You
then.
took better notes than I did. Although now that you're saying it, I remember what these things actually are.
Oh, good.
Don't forget the fact that the only reason we're getting into this whole thieves meet is because they want something from Max. Maybe they wanted the
Oh,
wand.
yeah, that's right.
It's now busted.
And we know that Max has a past history with the thieves, wherein he is a mark.
Maybe they wanted the wand that is now busted.
Oh, man, that would be too good. Too ironic. Am I a wizard? Yes. I cast spells in real life. I can make the background behind me turn green. Wha-bam! It's green.
Oh.
Whoa!
I can make this hat disappear. Fantastic.
Ooh.
So let's
he-
do. Let's do.
Whoa!
Oh, calm down, guys. Calm down. I know that my dark magic has not been seen in this realm for some time, but we are at end of session. Let me ask: do any of you feel that your bonds together are resolved? Which is to say, completely explored, no longer relevant, otherwise.
No.
No way. Not even remotely.
Nope. But I do believe that I got the
Whoa!
point.
Just wait.
Oh, well.
Did anyone play their alignment?
Yes.
Oh, I totally did.
Can you tell me what instance you played your alignment in?
Yes.
Yes.
I discovered something about a magical mystery. Definitely did.
What was the magical mystery you discovered something about?
That wand had a funky dragon in it.
Excellent.
I spurred others to significant and unplanned decisive action in that I just started a giant rumor that the king is dying throughout the entire kingdom.
Yeah. You may, in fact, cause the collapse of the war effort before it's...
Not even begun.
This 1 week timeline that we have is now ruined.
Jeff, how about you?
I do believe I have freed Max from his figurative bonds.
No, they were
Literal
literal
bonds.
bonds.
Oh yeah, literal
You freed
bonds.
the king from his figurative bonds.
That as well.
Yes. When you took the
I double
crocodile
dipped.
on his back. Yes, I tried to include something for each of you in this adventure, and because players are interesting to say the least, I made sure that when it said figurative and literal, I had both a figurative bond and a literal bond for someone to escape.
And we got them both.
So each of you gets 1 XP for completing your alignment.
Oh, okay.
As a group, answer the following questions. Did you learn something new and important about the world?
Yes.
Yes.
Many things.
Name one.
There's
There-
a thief city across in the sand
Pillars.
of pillars.
Sand-
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
pillars
yeah.
of sand.
Very well. Did
There's-
you overcome a notable monster or enemy?
yeah, we beat the crocodile shadow.
Do you think you beat the crocodile shadow?
We definitely overcame the threat of it.
I'll
The
accept
The
that.
immediate
current threat.
The immediate threat, yeah.
Its current incarnation.
Did you loot a memorable treasure?
No.
Everyone's in
Ye-
agreement on that?
We did get the scroll with the path to the sword.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the scroll that leads you there is a memorable treasure?
Well, without it, we would not know where to get it.
Very well. You guys each get 3 more XP.
And now, how does leveling up work in this
In
game?
order to level up, you need to add your current level to 7, and you need that much XP. So
Oh,
to become level 8,
You're
Level 2.
right, level 2, you need 8 points because it's 7 plus 1.
Yep.
Does
No.
anyone have 8 points?
close, but no together.
Nope, 6.
Okay, well,
I think me and James are both at both at 7.
I'm at 6 still.
Oh, you're at 6.
let's do some post-game analysis. I did not have much time to prepare, so I did the best I could.
Wait, you had time to prepare?
Well, okay, fuck off.
I'm helping you out, Arthur. You
Okay.
had no time to prepare. Let's be real.
How did you guys enjoy this session in light of the very short-term nature of it?
It's great.
Would
Yeah,
you
I-
play Dungeon World again in the future?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I want to ask this one specifically to the guys who this is their first time. How did you enjoy Dungeon World as compared to, say, Pathfinder? So it's 2 parts. Did you enjoy it? How much did you enjoy it? 3 parts. And how is it compared to Pathfinder? Bam. Go. 3-part question.
I definitely enjoyed it. How would it compare to Pathfinder?
Yeah.
This is something I could definitely see playing at the bar with random people. Just bring pre-generated characters and jump into some random fucking story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of it is, if you remember, character creation didn't take that long. You
No.
can fill out that sheet in about 5 minutes. There's never really a reason to pre-generate characters, because the whole point of Dungeon World is to make the story what you want. You guys shape the story how you wanted it to be. You know, you wanted a magical wand? Great. You wanted to feed power into it? You did. You want to kill a crocodile? That happened. You want to spread rumors across the castle that will cause panic throughout the land?
We
There
did it.
is. You guys drove the story. I set up the situation, and you did what you wanted with it.
I think I have played Dungeon World a couple times, but always as a one-shot.
Well,
And so
this is also a one-shot, but we might pick it up again in the
right.
future.
So I've played before, but I have only played in this capacity as a one-shot. I think it's a really fun system to do short-term, off-the-cuff things like tonight in. I do not know that I would enjoy
All right, listen up, hater.
it
This is the thing that
as
always
much.
comes up in a. This is the big
As
thing
much.
in Apocalypse World, right? Everyone's always like, you can't play Apocalypse World long term because you get too powerful very quickly.
Oh no, I was going to say the exact opposite.
Oh, really?
That it would feel very. I would feel like it would be very static in terms of the character as a character would develop, and of course, I am much more concerned about RP than number crunching in my play style. I think that's fairly obvious.
Oh, it's easy to level up quickly when you're low level because you
But
can
it-
just
but
roll
so-
on shitty
but-
stats.
But not that much changes compared to Pathfinder, which has a leveling up has huge changes to it. And so my point is that I feel like it would get mechanically stale after a while because it's a relatively static
Perhaps.
evolution.
I don't know. I've played in some very, very long-running Traveler games, and even there, like, we set hard caps on skills. So the most you're ever going to roll on top of 2d6 is +4 to +8 tops.
Okay. What
And
were
the
you going to
difference-
say before I cut you off, Arthur, about Apocalypse World being criticized? Because I gather it's
Oh,
not
that's
what I
the
just
thing.
said.
Everyone's always like, you advance too quickly and it's not worth playing after like 3 or 4 sessions. The thing about Dungeon World is you get XP when you fuck up. So the fastest way to level up is to do things you're terrible at and to emphasize your terribleness. And so after a while, either you only do what you're good at and you don't level, or you do what you're terrible at, you level quickly, and then you shore up the parts you're bad at and you stop leveling so quickly.
I thought when you level in Dungeon World, all you get is one of the advanced moves per
You
level.
also get a stat.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just to get an advanced move.
Nope, you get a stat. And an advanced move, but yes.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy playing new systems because
Oh, me too.
I can find a use for him at some point.
Next time we get hogued.
Eh,
That's a term now, hogued.
it's a thing.
Next time we get hogued, we'll play Game of Thrones, and we'll spend the whole time setting up characters in the house, and we won't play at all.
And we'll
you'll
write our
still-
houses.
You'll still feel like we had an awesome session when we made
I
house butts of
have
the
played Game of
Northshire
Thrones,
Buddingtons.
and I did basically play 2 sessions, and the first session was making the house, and it actually was quite fun to make the maester
I
of the
know.
house.
Talk like a dog whisperer when I'm leaving.
It
Interesting.
was super
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah, I missed that though. Just play Fiasco with me instead.
Well, that's
Damn
new.
it, Henley, you and Fiasco, man. I want to play Fiasco, but you're always like, let's play Fiasco.
Yeah,
I didn't know that you were available tonight. We just
We could have used.
literally the thought process. I was like, you guys want to do something else? And I think someone was like, let's run an RPG, and I was like, okay. And I was like, I guess I have Dungeon World. That's something I could run with negative prep time. If I'd known Michael was not going to show up ahead of time, I probably could have had something else together. We could have played Moto Bushido. Yeah. Moto Bushido. About samurais who ride motorcycles. So good.
Samurais
So
on
Hoax never
street.
responded to my text or my phone call.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
He's off the grid, man.
We
May-
only need...
maybe maybe he fell in his toilet and can't get out.
Hopefully we'll hear from him before next Thursday. We'll figure
Speaking
that
of
out.
which,
Oh, man. Please
I have to
don't.
run a convention next Thursday.
Oh, I see. All right.
Well, I could
Which
do
was-
reverse dungeon. I'm telling you, I've been itching to run it.
I want to play that.
I have some things I could offer as well. Let me look through my book just in case there's something you might like to play, James.
Oh, I would
Besides
like to
running.
play anything.
I mean, I still would like to play Stars Without Number.
I could run a session of Stars Without Numbers. That's true.
I mean, like I said, I have played plenty of
Traveler.
Traveler and enjoy the shit out of it.
James, are you interested in some Stars Without Numbers?
Yeah, I
Excellent.
could do that.
It's also a 2d6 system, mostly.
I-
For the parts that are d20.
Yeah.
Or D8 in the case of initiative.
Oh no, this sounds like a multi-polyhedral kind of system actually now.
Yep. Don't worry, it's not that bad.
It's a really easy system to
If
pick
I
up.
could learn Pathfinder, I'm sure I can pick it up.
Oh,
Um,
it's
I'll tell you what, Dave is probably going to want to join, which will be fine. We'll talk to Michael and see if he wants to join, and I'll ask Dave. Yeah.
he's already said yes. Oh, he's suggesting Fiasco next Thursday.
Well, we're going to do
Right.
Stars Without Numbers. Stars Without Numbers on Thursday. And we'll play in the northern half of the sector, because tomorrow night, Friday night, I am setting up the faction turn for the southern half of the sector for the actual campaign, and I guess I can do some planning. I will send you guys sometime during the week when I have some time, maybe tomorrow afternoon or Saturday or Sunday, how to build characters. I'll give you what worlds you can come from, and I'll send you the Stars Without Numbers or a rulebook, which you can get for free on DriveThruRPG.com, because they're awesome. It's always nice to have free RPGs that are also mainstream and AAA. Yeah.
Obviously, the reason this is happening is I won't be there, Henley. Thus,
Yeah,
there will
Henley,
be no
There's
Jefferson.
no Jefferson. You're going to have to either be Mako or make a new character. I don't know that Mako can function without Jefferson.
He
You're gonna-
probably can't.
Yeah, he's always like, Jefferson, bring me a coffee. Jefferson, I don't know how to use this comm device.
It's
Even
actually it's
though
like
I've literally-
Jefferson. Jefferson, make a note about this, that, and the other thing.
It's like, Jefferson, I literally don't know how to use a fork. Teach me.
Jefferson, I cannot feed myself. You must do it.
I have never fed Mako.
Not
Yet.
yet.
Jefferson is just the accountant / business manager / fixer / tech guy / pilot ships / ship's engineer for the crew.
Slash hacker slash ECM specialist.
Oh, so basically what you're saying is he's just like my pirate captain who has now, at this point in our Traveler game, run off with an individual stealth scout ship that is literally loaded to the gills with gold,
That sounds
Has-
reasonable.
has enough life support for less than 1 week, which means that he doesn't have enough life support for the jump he just made. And that's where
happened.
I left him off.
Yeah, that happened in Swan Song. That was one of the best scenes where Higgs is like, oh no, was it Steven that was like, not only do we not have enough to make this jump, even if we put the whole crew into a coma, we still don't have enough to make the jump.
That
We're
was
still
Steven.
gonna die.
That's basically what I did. Is I went, okay, well, I have all this gold, and I just have to make it out of jump. So, what do? Use my wonderful, handy dandy personal med kit. Well, medical device.
Put yourself in a coma, of course.
No. Slowed my heart rate down. Jacked my brain, which has a chip in it, into the ship's computer.
Oh my god!
He's becoming pie.
It's glorious. Like, I am literally on life support in the captain's chair with a distress beacon
But
going
he's
off.
going the other direction from
God.
Pi. Pi is getting out of the ship's computer into that robot body. He's going in.
Who knows?
Oh no!
Pie
You
could
don't-
already be in that dude's body, bro. Who knows what happened
Are you
there?
talking about Lord Lucas McCrary?
Yep.
You don't realize that I am mostly cyborg already, and now have even more money. It's glorious.
We need to play Stars Without Numbers. I think maybe cyborg parts could be a part of it if you want to have that be a thing.
If it can be, we will talk before
Yeah,
next
we'll
week.
talk.
Yeah, we'll get it together. That sounds
But-
cool.
At this point, if we are off. Are we off the air yet or no?
No.
No, we're not off the air yet.
Oh.
We can be. Do we want to call this the night?
Oh,
If we are, I am going rating. If not, then I will continue to delay.
All right. I think we can call it then.
It's not that big a deal. I've already told them I'm going to be late.
no,
No,
Too
no.
late
We're
now.
good. We're
That's
good.
it.
We wrapped it up.
I'm waving goodbye to the stream.
you ruined the whole thing.
Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go.